In the heart of the savannah, where the sun kissed the earth and the wind whispered secrets, there lived a tribe known as the Baobab people. Among them was a young woman named Katu. Her eyes held the wisdom of the ancients, and her laughter echoed through the Baobab groves. Katu's life took a dark turn when her father Dumbo, a village chief member, revealed a forbidden secret. He was not her true foster father. Instead, he was her uncle, the brother of her deceased mother. Shocked and heartbroken, Katu grappled with this revelation. The tribe whispered behind her back, casting judgment upon her. Dumbo had told her he was her foster father and forced her into making out with him. This started when Katu was 4-year-old. She was beautiful from birth. Her smile was so innocent and her laughter would make sadness go away. Katu started fighting for her sanity from age 4. As she grew up, she resisted Dumbo severally, but this led to starvation and several other forms of punishment. One day, Dumbo asked why she resisted him. She said because he was her father. He made it clear to her that he was her foster father and not her blood relative. Believing this, Katu gave in to his desire under duress for peace to reign. After all, she has to eat. For every time this act happened, she wished her parents were alive. Soon she got pregnant. And she got the shock of her life. Dumbo is not her foster father. He is actually her uncle. Her mother's elder brother. Katu cried her eyes out. She carried a secret of her own, a child growing within her, conceived from the forbidden union. Dumbo fought with Jeku, who was becoming closer to Katu. Soon he accused Jeku of impregnating Katu. There was a fight between Dumbo and Jeku. The villagers judged Jeku. He was summoned before the king. He was asked to leave Katu alone. Jeku swore with his life over not being responsible for Katu's pregnancy. But no one believed him. Katu remained silent, for she knew her story. She had reported to her neighbors over her nightmares severally. Nobody came to her rescue. Instead, they all accused her of lying against her foster father. Some villagers felt it was Dumbo's right to take her for a wife if he wanted, for it was the only way she could compensate him for taking care of her since he took her in from birth. Dumbo asked the king's men of the village to imprison Jeku until Katu was delivered of her child. This is to teach him the lesson of his life. The villagers supported Dumbo. They held Jeku and tied him up. They kept him in the village prison. Soon Katu had a son. She named him Kofi, which meant born on Friday, for he arrived under the golden rays of the setting sun. Kofi's skin bore the hues of the earth, and his eyes held the same ancient wisdom as his mother's. He was also born with power of a mighty warrior of the ancient days. No one could predict him. Dumbo rejected Kofi from birth. The villagers asked that Jeku marries Kitu, but Dumbo refused. The king asked Jeku to take Kofi and leave the village or face death. Jeku refused because the child is not his blood. Katu, pregnant with her truth, still kept silent. The king suggested they dedicate the child to the gods of the land while all parties goes their ways, since no one wanted the child. They choose a date. On the said date, the villagers gathered. It was a big ceremony. They villagers expected Katu to be happy, but she was not. The king gave his opening speech and then go ready to present the child to the gods in the secret altar. While stepping on the altar, the king's foot slipped and the king fell. The villagers were shocked. They watched in surprise. It is an abomination for the king to fall, let alone at the secret altar. No one dare touches the king or assist him in getting up. It will be further taboo to help the king up after falling. The village chief priest came forward to figure out what to do before the king gets up from the ground. The chief priest told them that some sacrifices must be done before the king can stand up from his fall. The villagers must provide the following: 7 cows, 7 rams, 7 cock, 7 he-goats, 7 tubers of yam, 7 alligator pepper, 7 teeth of kangaroo, 7 eyes of crocodile, 7 bitter cola, 7 tins of snuff, 7 pieces of kola nut, and 7 white cloth. All the mentioned items must be bought with money, but the villagers do not have such money. They pleaded to the chief priest to know if there was another way. But the chief priest said that was the only way according to their tradition. The king remained on the ground where he fell. Night fell. The king still remains on the ground. His wife rushed home, prepared his dinner, and brought it to the king. The king ate from the ground. His maids and servants served him on the ground. All his visitors had to visit him at that spot. His business associate brought a huge amount of money to him for a business deal. The king had to attend to them at the same spot. The king's men went about looking for money to buy the items for the sacrifice. The village came to a standstill as the hours became days. The king's men could not find money. While the villagers expected to see the king's men come back with hope, they came back empty-handed. Find out in the next episode if the king stood up or not for the child's dedication to the gods.